Okay, so I'm going to do a conversion on this radio here. I believe it works. I'm going to power it and just test it briefly before I do that, and just make sure there's nothing actually wrong. And then I'll do the conversion on it. So I thought I'd just do a video because I don't think I've actually done the whole process on video yet. I don't believe I have anyway. So my power supply is already on. I've gained up, dirt tune's centered, it doesn't matter, up. So if that's alright, super bright, yep, okay. Make sure I'm done below setting. I am. Just going to double check something else. Hold on, I can't quite see my switches. I've moved things around a little bit recently. Right. Okay. Let's power this up. Okay, I have power. There's a white LED in there. Interestingly. Alright. Has talkback enabled. It's been modified, so it's doing about 2 watts and swinging to about 5. Yeah, oh, that's alright. So it's at least transmitting. Let's just make sure the frequency looks okay. Yeah, it's slightly off, but it's close. So yeah, it's working at least. Receiver's probably fine. Yeah, it sounds like it's working. So now I'll pull this thing apart and put my conversion board in there. The camera might be a bit too close, but we'll see. I got a great shot at the back end of my screwdriver. Anyway, yeah, let's do this. So I've done quite a few of these conversions. Because New Zealand uses different channels from like the likes of Australia and the USA, so you know, it's something which needs to be done for any radio that comes into the country, basically. And although I don't bring radios in normally myself, I did buy some and brought them in because the price was right, and thought, oh, what the hell, I'll do that and sell them on again once I've converted them. You know, as long as I make $20 to make it worth a while. That's about it, really. It's not really like a job to me, it's just something to do to kill some time. So, okay, had like a little black washer stuck there. So the question really is, what's been done to this? Let's check these screws. Oh, let's check the screws. Make sure they're tight because they do look loose. These all seem pretty good. Okay, so what version is this? This is a different version. This is a newer one. PA 452 AA. That's interesting. Slightly different variant. Layouts are different, which is fine. It's very similar, but someone's been playing with this, and you can see it's got this capacitor shoved in here like this, which is not original. It's probably part of the swing modification, but yeah, you know, I'll see what it's like on a scope on the spectrum analyzer. I may or may not pull that back out. You can see there the flux residue would have done it. There's a resistor across here for the talkback. So doesn't look to be a huge amount of work done. So flux residue across all these, but that's probably factory. Some here too from the cables, I think. So that is what it is. Yeah, so I think modification wise it's not really had much done to it, which is good. Looks like it's in really good condition really. What date's on this thing? March 2010, so it's not that old, so for CBs anyway. So it's all good. So let's get my solder iron fired up, and now here's my little conversion module. This is a new board I've had done, so it's a little bit different from what I have been doing previously. Now I've got options there. I could literally, stick it in there like that, and tie it to that can, or I could mount it using a mounting hole. I've got some brackets I purchased after dig those out. I'll come back in a second. Okay, so this is a little bracket which I've got. And the idea here is that I can just stick it on the side an existing hole, whack a screw through that, and mount that on there, just like so. So it's all just braced properly. So this is a new version, so I'll probably have to experiment a little bit with how I actually set this up. So maybe I won't bore you with that aspect, but yeah, I'll probably come back in a second after I've done that. Okay, so there's the bracket mounted on the side with the board there, so that's all fine. Now I just need to wire the thing in. So what I'm probably going to do, so this board layout is very slightly different to what I'm used to seeing. I haven't seen this variant before, so I'm probably going to have to do a little bit of extra work to figure out where things are supposed to go. Yeah, it's a little bit different, so I need to just look at that and figure that out. So I'm going to come back. Okay, so I figured out where the connections are. So normally on the original boards, you have the can, and there's a trace that comes up here, snakes around, and comes up to near the mixer section, right? Goes through a capacitor to the mixer. Now this version is a bit different. The can comes out here. It's got a trace, a jumper here, trace to there, jumper to there, and disappears up here, right? And it's probably that one just here. So if I can trace on the back as well, to there, to there, comes up to there. So that'll be the capacitor just there. Alright, so to hook into this, all I'll do is take out one of those jumpers and just tie in. So it's pretty simple. I think I'll just well, I'm going to do dual band on this thing as well, so I need to really look at that as well, and just cover that section. So yes, I shall come back once I've done that rather than boring you with all that detail. Okay, so I've started doing the wiring on this. I've decided to move where I'd mounted it, just to move it a bit closer, keep the wiring a little bit shorter. I used to mount them just here, so it's kind of in line where I used to mount them, so it's on the right. So I've got the negative and positive hooked up. This runs off 5 volts, so it's running to a 5 volt supply, which runs to the POL. Now, because I'm going to use the switch to allow switching between the original band and the expanded band, or the New Zealand one, I need to just change it very slightly how it should be done. I mean, it could just run straight from there to the board right there, just a couple of inches, and that'll be it. They'll be done, because I'm going to run it through a switch and try to. Well, I will have both bands in it, so it's a little bit more involved, but still not too bad. Beautiful double-sided board, as you can solder from the top. It's great. Anyway, so I'm actually going to go to the channel 9 switch. I've already taken the wiring off that, so that's those there. That's already configured to keep the normal display on. I always bundle them together, so if someone ever wants to revert it back to original, the wiring's all right there and you can actually work out what you need to do. So it's just the way I tend to do it, so it's reversible. This actually goes down to this individual plug just there, so if I really wanted to I could have just taken that plug out, taken it off, jump it on the board and done, but I wanted to do it this way, so it's reversible in the easier method. So just tuck those out of the way. Now I've got to get this down to the channel 9 switch, which is just over here. Now I might have actually gone a long way around. I might alter that. If I come straight to it here, so that's going to be down as in Zealand, so it's going to be the bottom pin. So actually I might do it around straight over the top of the board instead, because that'll make it slightly shorter. Yeah, I think I'll just go straight there like that instead. Makes it a bit shorter, and shorter wires is a good thing. Now what I normally tend to do is I use both poles of the switch, but on this switch, that's why my tweezers, the poles are very far apart, so normally I bridge across both, so it's got using both sets of contacts just to allow for any dirty contacts, stuff like that, so it just keeps working reliably. But in this case it's going to be a bit of a long wire going between the two. Not really ideal, so I probably is going to end up using one contact for that. Just trying to get a long piece stripped off like that, bridging across both is, I mean, sure it's doable, but it's a little bit tricky. I mean, the space to get into it's not wonderful. Anyway, we'll show. Yeah, what the hell, I'll do it. I'll go across both. I don't like to not do that, so I will just go across both. I prefer to do it that way. My soldering iron is cleaning. Now this switch does have holes in the pins, I think. It does, but they're clogged. Let's see if I can get that out. No, it's not looking very hopeful. Come on. No, it's not going to work. Anyway, I'll go across them. It's alright. Shove that down through there. From this side of the board, if I don't lose the wire. I do like to leave a little bit of slack on the wiring, just so the front panel needs to come off, or for whatever reason. You don't have to disconnect all the wiring or whatever. That's never fun. I need my other tweezers. These ones are rubbish. Hold on. Right. They're only good for pointing at things, really. Here we go. Right. So let's just rest this on here. So this is the Zealand output, so this needs to go across those bottom pins, which I think I might just try and do it the other way around actually. So my head might be in the way when I'm doing this, I'm afraid. Now I've lost the wire again. Here it is. So we give it a go. I might be able to fit it through, we'll see. It's kind of there. Right. Right. One more on. Okay, so now what I have to do is run a wire to the common, which in this case is this pad right there. So that's the one that feeds through to the mixer. That's the original 15.360 MHz coming out here. So I have to run this one to the top of the switch, those top pins, and I have to run this one here to the center pins. Right, let's get some wires sorted out. I'm juggling stuff now. Right, I think I'll put it in the trace first. Thread it through, just come through the top of the board like it's supposed to, into that hole there. Now I'll try and hold that in place and solder it at the same time. Hopefully it doesn't fall out when I do this. No, cool, still there. Right. So that's that wire there. Again, I need to leave a little bit of slack on it so it can be moved around if necessary. But again, you don't want to go too far overboard with that because you don't want to have these wires too long. Right, now let's do the same thing again, try to thread this through. Cramped in here, so I'm not quite sure how much you can actually see. Got one side on, the other side's going to have to sit up there like that. Okay. Okay, so that's two wires on. Now I just need to do that one there. Once I've done that, I can power it up, test it, and start doing alignment. Some will fall out if I let go, so I have to do it this way. That's alright. Okay. Same thing for the switch. I don't know how interesting a video this is going to make, but some people might find it interesting. Anyway, see it goes. Okay. Right. let's try and thread this through. Now the top hole is open on that side. Here we go. So I'm poke it through to the hole on the other side when that one's melted. See how lucky I can get. Right, yep, that's through. Brilliant. Okay. Okay, cool, done. Alright, so that's all on there. So let's make some space again. Double check the work, make sure there's no shorts. And I'll tidy these up a little bit later on once I've got it all done, just to make it see a bit tidier. Alright, let's power it up. I need to do the VCO alignment. That's the VCO there. This doesn't sit flat, which is interesting. That's because it's got one of those pads on it, that's right. So the VCO's there. I need to clean that hole out so I can get a screwdriver in without cracking it. This is just to get the wax out. This isn't trying to adjust it. That's really deep in that one, actually. It's quite surprising. Because if you try and turn it with the wax in the way, you end up cracking the slug. And you don't want to do that. It's never a good thing. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is just get the wax out so the slug can be adjusted without damaging it. Okay, I think that's pretty much as good as I'm going to get out of that. There's a little bit in the tip of the adjustment as well, to try and wiggle that out. Okay. So VCO, what faults on that? Did a nice test point. Let's go turn it on. Let's go channel 1 of New Zealand band. It should be just there. It's probably just there. So the layout's slightly different now, so it might not be the right one. Let's have a look. Yep, okay, that is the right one. So if I stick it on channel 40 Australia is 2 volts RX, 1.8 volts TX, which seems fine. And New Zealand is 2.9 volts, which is fine. That doesn't really need adjusting, actually. It's already pretty good. That's certainly within, you know, allowable range, so I don't actually need to adjust it. So I picked that wax out for nothing. Usually I have to adjust it. It's very unusual to not have to do that. Let's just remark that. Put this wax back in and remount it, just to re-secure it. I'll do. Okay, so that's that. Let's have a look at the actual performance. So power wise it's looking absolutely fine. I'd say someone's already been messing with this. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that doesn't actually require alignment on TX on the New Zealand band. I will have to check on the spectrum analyzer though. fire that up. Frequency, we want 26.33. Now the span. Now, because the special analyzer warming up, it's jumping over the place. Yeah, man. I'll have to have a look and see what it looks like. Once it all settles down, I'll check it again later on. I've got to check the adjustments of it, but I noticed in this version, this is holding there. No, it's not. Now, previous versions had an adjustment about here. Well, it would have been about there before between the antenna connector for the 54 megahertz trap. Now, this doesn't have an adjustment. So they've actually eliminated that coil. It looks just like one of these, but they've actually taken it out. They've obviously made it a fixed coil or something. Anyway, it's not there anymore. So that's one adjustment I cannot do because I can't trim that anymore. So let's do the RX, and let's have a go at this. Fire that onto there. Everything's going to be warming up because I haven't turned it on yet, which is a bit badly planned on my part. So channel 15 New Zealand. Most likely it's going to be used on his own channel, so I'll aim for getting it towards the end of the tuning. Let's plug a speaker in. Right, and that's on the RX there. Let's do okay, let's just increase this IF level. So it's a very weak signal right now, which is what I want. Okay, so that's peaked there. This one's a long way out compared to original. So what I'll probably do is reduce level again now. So I'll tune it for New Zealand and then I'll go back and look at it again for the other band. I should also check the 10 megahertz as well to make sure that's correct. I haven't done that yet. Let's get this fired up then. Bit more noise, I'm afraid. Get probes for that. Let's make sure the 10 megahertz is adjusted correctly, otherwise it'll be affecting everything else. They're usually pretty good, they're not often a problem, but you never know. So I want what I tend to do is actually measure the 5.12 megahertz output. Oh, let's change my input. I'm using my scope a bit differently recently, so there we go. Right. So yeah, that's pretty close. It's 5.12.006. So yes, that's fine. That's all right. And that's with the delta tune centered. So actually, I'll just check the TX side. Sometimes that can be affected. Yeah, it's slightly different, not much. It's okay. It's livable. Get it back off again. Right, so right. I'm not going to bother doing the TX alignment, which is these cans here, those ones there, this one here for the mixer. I'm not going to bother doing those because it already looks fine, so I'm just going to leave those as they are. As also for that one as well, it's working just fine. That's 10 megahertz there. This is a mixer, RX thing. One of the mixer inputs. I hope that's probably fine as well. These usually don't need adjusting. You know, these ones here are usually absolutely fine. You don't need to touch them. So there's no need, because that's just the IF side of it, and those, as long as the signal coming in is correct, once it gets past the IF stages, then it doesn't need to be tuned. So I will probably check it though. But that is working. I mean, that's all right. If I do for an S9 signal, yeah, it's pretty much there. So it's I just need a slight tweak. There's my big screwdriver. So the layout's changed. Which one is the signal meter now? Is it this one? No. That's probably squelched in. This must be signal meter. There we go. Right. So that's doing S9 now. Okay, I'll play around with it. I've got to check it on other frequencies and stuff as well. But anyway, so that gives you the idea of it. Very roughly, it's not done properly yet. I'm getting a bit hot. I need to turn my air conditioning on. It gets a bit noisy, so I'm going to go away and do the rest of this and just tune things like the AWI and things like that, and just tweak it up. But yeah, that's basically that modification, how it goes in. So pretty simple, and that now has dual bands. So yeah. So have a good one. Let me know what you think, and don't forget, this isn't the proper alignment. This is only just a really rough one just to get it going, and I'll play around with it and do it properly soon. But yeah, so catch you later. Have a good one.